Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we finished off basically... I think we just finished off the post-mode quest, but with doing that we basically finished off just about everything that I can do in base ARR except for crafting and gathering, which we are going to begin today. So I'm going to begin by getting all of the crafters and gatherers unlocked. And we're gonna move onwards from there. Because this is going to take probably a certain amount of... Okay. A certain amount of effort. I also forgot that I even sent a message to anybody, so just got a Discord pop up, but future me will have to block it. You heard me, future me. Or maybe you didn't. And it will be there. Why not? Anyway, well, a well fishing welcome to you, adventure friend. You've worked your way to Fisherman's Bottom. When you want fish for just a day, you can call a culinarian, but we fishermen feast for life. I've set the bait. Think you're ready to bite? Hooray, hooray! Looks like we've got a live one. Let me walk you through the life of a fisherman in Limsa Minza. Since we're surrounded by the seas, the fishing sites are a fisherman's delight. If you can't fish it here, you can't fish it anywhere. While some of us rope our fish in with rods and reels, others skim the seabed with nets for creepy crawly critters. You might say we cast a wide net. People prattle about our pullers just about everywhere in Limsa. And there's much and more I haven't mentioned. We shepherd the ships, preside over the ports, manage the mongers, all while making sure not to leave any adventurers out to sea. I'll wager you prefer to work alone, so we'll start off with the rod and the reel. Now, you may not necessarily net the numbers net fishing yields, but pole fishing positively pulls prettier prizes. And that's the long and short of it. When you're ready for another bite of bait, I'll reel you in before the guildmaster. I hate to hear I'd hate to hear you had a change of heart. You haven't, have you? Spoken like a true bespoke fisherwoman. Well then, it's time you met the guildmaster. But unfortunately, and somewhat ironically, our nefarious netmaster is out fishing at the moment. This moment and every moment, that is. So Sissipu tends to tasks that require tending to, such as deciding whether you'll sink or swim with our guild. Sissipu's presiding over those pools. Whenever you decidedly decide to say hello, she might seem somewhat standoffish. I hate this, but she's only keeping an eye out for sharks. Be yourself, and you have nothing to worry about. Sissipu. Yes, save your breath. I heard every word between you and, Mulika. So I know she told you my role here. And she said Wawalago is supposed to be the guildmaster, but apparently he has bigger fish to fry, so all his work falls to me. That includes making sure our new fish aren't shellfish idiots or potential anemones. You've passed the first test by not laughing at that awful joke. Now you only need the right answer to this question. Are you prepared to fish like you've never fished before? Well, you're smarter than the majority of bottom dwellers that find their way here. Welcome to the guild. Now, this wouldn't be much of a guild if we set you out to sea with only a pole and a prayer, so I suppose I can fare you a few pearls of wisdom. Nevertheless, you're still going to need that pole and prayer, so I can at least provide you with the former. Here you go. 1 out of 2 isn't bad. I'll even throw in these luckworms, since you're not like to get far without bait. The rods we bestow upon our fish are priceless objects, which is to say they don't cost anything. Once you know what you're doing, you'll probably want a proper one. But in the meantime, let's see if you can figure out how to hold your pole. Ready the one I gave you, and your lesson can begin. Readying your line. So you choose your bait. Let me go and actually switch over to the fisherman. So we get the fishing log. We also lose all of our clothes, which I think is going to be a thing for a little bit. Not ninja. Jesus Christ. Ah, yes. My fishing ninja. I'm going to create a separate bar for this, maybe? I just noticed something which pisses me off. I will fix this stuff at a later date. In any case, for the time being. Let me go and put that away. Let me go and put you on F1, put you on 1, hook on 2. Quit I put on this thing, and cast light I barely use. Right. I'm going to do this quest too, I think. You're looking quite formidable. Let's hope you don't scare all the fish away. Now, the first rule of fishing is to hold on to your rod. Take care of your rod, and your rod will take care of you. Let me know if I'm going too fast for you. Since you're new here, we're going to start small. And they don't come much smaller than anchovies. You'll find schools of anchovies swimming around outside in Galadian Bay, so you can catch your meager supper without even walking 10 yalms. Anchovies are hardly the most cunning fish in the sea, making them an ideal first assignment. Simply bait a hook with some of those slugworms I gave you, dip in the water, and the fish will practically catch themselves. Right. So we also have the fishing log. That is, I think, why. Yep. So every fishing hole, which we haven't discovered yet... You know what, let me go and just hook my baits. When it comes to fishing, you have to wait for an exclamation point to happen. This is gonna be quite something to explain. You, in any case, put your bait on it, you wait for this, and you hook it in. Now, depending on whether or not you can catch the fish or not, is dependent on your gathering rate, and depending on which fish you find, is based on your perception rate. At least I think so. In any case, once you have fished at one of these spots, you get an entire list of which fish you have caught over there. You can click on them and I think figure out... Okay, you can't really particularly figure out what you need to use to catch them, but if a fish requires weather, time, or other special conditions, then you will be able to see it over here. But in general, there are websites out there. There's a really good fishing tracker out there to help you catch all the fish should you be so inclined to do so. AKA the thing that I did. I have, at this point, caught... I've already caught all of the ARR fish. That is what I've done. Next up would be the Heavensward ones, but yeah. I've decided to take a little bit of a break with that for now. The most annoying thing about fishing, I would say, is the RNG aspect of it. There is an RNG aspect to it. Like, as you can see, I found some kelp and I found a goby. But what I truly need is an anchovy. Which I'm not getting. I will be right back until once I've caught all 5 of these. This is going to be a lot of cutting around because a lot of this stuff is not particularly super interesting to watch. So I will be right back once I have my anchovy. Alright. I've got all 5 things. I'm already level 6 right now. I learned Chum, which is 100 GP, because now we have a different stat called GP, which just regens over time. There's also items that you can use to refill that, but that's going to come in much later, because at the moment it's not really that important. Another thing that I forgot to show off, by the way, is that you can technically have like cast light, and you have a little light on the end of your rod. Just like an extra little thing that you can see, like, okay, a fish has decided to bite. Hello, Sissy Poo. Anchovies swim off of every shore in them settlements, so you can bring them back from anywhere you like, so long as it's not the fishmongers. You can also literally just buy these and give them to her. That's also a thing you can do if you really don't want to catch fish, but why would you even start unlocking fishing if you didn't want to fish? Seems like an interesting maneuver. Here, Chovy, here, Chovy, fair flock of feisty fish you've got. Giddy guppy, carefully don't slip out of sight. Oh, Babalaga, to what do we owe the pleasure? A guildmaster's got to get after the guppies, dividing up the daily drudgery, picking out a proper potable and some such support and service. And who gets after the guildmaster? We have books to balance, you know, books you should be balancing. I did my best to balance the books, but the bilge keel bent the bow back, bouncing the whole batch off the boat. That's not what... You know it's just an expression. That's neither here nor there. So long as you keep at the bit, Lynn, our books will balance themselves. Don't let that go to your head, of course. Any beginner can snag some anchovies, but you'll need to experiment with different lures and explore new waters if you want to catch the big ones. Fundamentals are fine, but the fun is fishing for new finds. Like my uncle always said, fishing's like philandering. You never know what you'll catch. And with those well-spoken words of wisdom, we will leave you to your wiles. And then the next one will become available once I reach level 5, which I already am. So I think I'm just going to do it like this. Maybe. I'm a little bit confused at how I'm going to do this entire thing. At least we have, you know, some form of clothing. It's a little bit confusing though. I think for gatherers this is gonna be fine, but crafters... I guess we'll continue for now. Sure. I smell that you haven't been neglecting your duties. A commendable attitude. No one's ever gotten worse at anything by practicing. No one I know, at least. Then again, you can't expect the same old tricks to work with new fish. Big ones don't grow to be that way, chasing everything that wiggles on a hook. To catch the fish you want, you must first know what the fish wants. Only their prize is at stake. Once their prize is at stake, can you tantalize and tempt your prey to taste the forbidden tackle. Anchovies may be willing to settle for luckworms, but harbor herring have a discerning palate that prefers pillbugs. But don't take my word for it, go and see for yourself. Pick up some pillbugs from Senegal over in West Hawker's Alley, then use them to catch 3 local harbor herrings. Like anchovies, they can be caught right outside. In case you have a mind to return to your previous spot, you should know that fish aren't as foolish as most might think. Keep casting your line in the same waters and you'll find that fewer folk will take a bite. I'm not sure if this is actually a thing. I'm really unsure about that because I feel like it's not really been a thing. Unless if there's like, there's some very specific mechanic to like keep on fishing in the same spot and it's going to change what fish you're gonna get. Right, fieldcraft supplier and pillbox. I'll just go and get 99. Whatever. So, my friends, I will go and fish for these harbor herrings, and I will be right back. Well, that was surprisingly easy. There we go. A lot easier than catching the anchovy, that's for sure. Bring me 3 harbor herring then. This will test both your ability to use pillbugs as bait and your ability to count. Also, fuck, I forgot to block the chat again after that cutscene. Speaking of which, it's gonna be another cutscene, so I might as well just go remove the chat block. There's nothing better than the salted herring, the salted harbor herring. Safe for perhaps fried harbor herring or grilled. No, definitely salted. You know, in the yesteryears of my youth, I used to use every fish I yanked out to yield a bigger one. A good gamble until the game got gargantuan. I guess I got greedy. But where did you... Well, sometimes it's best to throw back the big ones. Good God, what's a guildmaster got to do to garner a grain of gratitude? Acting respectable would be a start. Respectable? I sailed the seas and snared everything that swam in them. And that would be an accomplishment if by everything that swam in them you meant fish and not lady divers. All you brought back was some stories about carousing with trollops. But chauvinism is just a red herring. The harbor herring are what's important, namely the lesson of thinking from the perspective of the fish when selecting bait. In that regard, I can say you truly have the mind of a fish. So here's a treat. Some of it might seem like gibberish at first, but as you make observations and jot down notes, eventually all of it will be gibberish. Well, take some time to study up, but be careful not to fry your fish brain. You'll need it for your next lesson. Right. Peruse the fish guide for fishing locations and detailed fish data, or reflect upon your accomplishments by looking at the records. I guess I will take the pants. Quest completo. The higher your perception rating, the better chance you have of landing a large-sized fish. Okay, depending on the variety, it may be usable for mooching, which is something for later on. And then sneaking. The disciple of the land action, sneak allows you to conceal yourself from enemies that you may log, mine, or fish without fear of being attacked. Be careful, however, that this ability is not effective against enemies with a level significantly higher than your own. So, this over here. Tread quietly, enabling you to avoid enemies up to 4 levels above your own. So you do need to be careful that you know, don't end up as fish food. Right, there we go. Alright, next thing that we're going to unlock is ocean fishing. Well, for that, Lynn, you may have just taken up your rod, but anyone can see you've got a keen eye for a fisherman. I reckon you're looking to make that eye keener still. Bigger fish, more exotic locales, Aye, that's what we all seek, ain't it? And it just so happens I can tell you how to find them. You see, the Fisherman's Guild has just finished constructing a vast boat equipped for voyages on the high seas. For as I know, Captain Forzagal is still looking for a band of fishermen adventurers adventurous enough to brave the deepest fishing hole of them all. If you think you've the stones for it, I'm sure he'll be glad to take you one. The thing we are going to unlock right now is basically the best way to level up your fisher. However, it is not something that you can just do on a whim. Not a daring soul to come to join our crew, eh? Well, let me be the first to welcome you to the Endeavour. Now this isn't your regular fishing boat. We sail it where we please. Although only the course the wind provides to us, aye? That's the only way we can see the unseen. No, the unknown. Captain Forzagal, if I may. The Endeavour is the Guild's only ship of this magnitude, and we, as you say, sail only where the wind pleases to take us. We may not ever return to this port. The Guild may not look favorably upon such liberal use of its property. My apologies for forgoing an introduction. I'm Dristotha, sent from the Fisherman's Guild to oversee this venture. Why am I here when the ship already has a captain, you ask? Well, as you may already know, members of our trade, Master Wabalago and Captain Forgazel included, seem to have difficulties managing time. I suppose the concept becomes something of an afterthought when one becomes so focused on water's surface. Regardless, I'm here to ensure the ship adheres to its schedule, both by managing its finances and ensuring new crew members board smoothly. The Endeavour shall embark upon any number of predetermined routes, each of which have this port as their final destination. Rest assured, if you fail to join one voyage, the ship will return, or shall return before long. The route we will travel will be determined by our departure time, and you may speak with me if you wish to know the route before boarding. Pray bear in mind that we must keep to a strict schedule. We cannot take on more crew members after we have begun boarding, and there are no exceptions to this rule, even for captains. Aye, I hear ya. When we board the ship is when we get to the exciting part. Fishing. Here, take these lures. They're certain to attract something worth displaying on your wall. Or at least worth something worth eating, whatever. Thank you. Should be enough to last you for one voyage at least, if you're looking for another kinds of bait. You can buy it here from the docks or on the ship. Try to switch it up now and then, because if you only use the same bait, you're only gonna keep catching the same fish, and that ain't why we do this, is it? One last thing, while Dristotha here may be in charge of the particulars on land, once we're on the ship, it is my word you'll heed. So when I say we're fishing or we're sailing there, I won't hear no objections. As long as we're clear on that, I believe there'll be bounteous fishing for all. And with that, the Endeavour is yours to board. If you wish to enter the ship, or if you would like more detailed explanation of what it is, we do. You need only ask. Right. As we unlock ocean fishing, potential crew members will register to board the Endeavour in 15-minute intervals occurring every 2 hours. However, the Endeavour will depart early if the number of crew members reaches 24. So this is basically an instance that you can enjoy after a certain amount of time. In addition to bait, lures, there exist several types of man-made lures. Lures are applied to your line in the same manner as bait. Fish can sense the difference between live bait and lures, therefore it may take longer for you to register a bite. On the other hand, lures can be reused multiple times, as well as employed to land prey too large for smaller bait. Being able to choose the right bait or lure for the situation is what separates the amateur from the professional. So this is one of the best ways to do it. There is also an ocean fishing tracker, which you can look at if you need to, or if you want to keep an eye on that. I was thinking that I made one to keep an eye on that and do one of those, If you will give me a moment, I'm gonna go and open up that ocean fishing tracker. I don't have it opened up anymore, I think. Also, I'm gonna shut off a lot of other tabs that I do not need. Because I have a lot of tabs opened up which I just really do not need. ffXIV ocean fishing tracker. There we go. Is it this thing that I'm... Yep, it's this thing. Let's see. So, in an hour we have a... we indeed have a thing. Okay. So in 1 hour we can technically go and catch... Like, we can do ocean fishing. If I will remember it in any case, because, you know... I'm gonna be busy with a lot of other things too, so... Anyway, time to go and unlock some crafters. Some crafters in them rafters. Hello. I beg your pardons, good madam, but this is the Culinarians Guild. If you are here to dine at the Bismarck, one of our waiters will be along shortly to show you to your... Oh, you're not a patron, might I assume then that you wish to become a culinarian? If so, I wholeheartedly recommend you join the Culinarians Guild, where one may learn the culinary arts under the finest chefs in all the realm. What say you? Wonderful, then without further ado I shall acquaint you with the history of our guild. As you are doubtless aware, Limsa has long been the gastronomic capital of Eorzea. The city's rich culinary tradition is the product of a unique combination of factors. The first is our proximity to the fertile lands and plentiful seeds of Vilbrand, which have ever yielded bounteous produce. The second is our standing as the realm's foremost trading port, which grants us access not only to exotic ingredients from faraway shores, but also to foreign merchants versed in their use. We are, in short, the beneficiaries of culinary knowledge from every corner of the world. Until recently, knowledge of this kind was passed on solely through word and mouth, and was therefore susceptible to corruption and loss. But that all changed when one man made it his mission to catalogue every recipe of note. His name was Admirable Gulskif Baldwinson, also known as Mast Cleaver. The man's love of fine cuisine was such that at sea he would regularly spend as much time preparing meals in the galley as giving commands to the bridge. It was none other than he who founded the Culinarians Guild and codified cooking methodology. Today the guild carries on Baldwin's legacy, though the scope of our endeavours has expanded significantly. Not content with simply preserving existing recipes, we labour tirelessly to devise wholly novel culinary creations with which to delight the senses. To this end, our doors are open to folk from all walks of life, including adventures such as your good self. One may liken our guild to a great pot of stew, and each member to an ingredient imparting a unique flavour. As with every dish, however, adding ingredients willy-nilly is certain to spoil the taste. Before you may take your place in the pot, you must be deemed a worthwhile addition by Guildmaster Linsath, a man whose passion for cookery burns hotter than any oven. Before troubling him, I must warn you that ours is a truly sweltering kitchen. As such, you would be well advised to ask yourself, can I stand the heat? If you earnestly believe that you can, speak to me once more, and I shall be glad to guide you through the enrollment process. So, have you the resolve to walk the path of the culinarian? Wonderful, then you must speak with the Guildmaster Linsketh at once. This will come as no surprise, but he is the finest chef in Limsa. His skill and dedication are second to none. You will find the Guildmaster up the stairs yonder, keeping a watchful eye on his charges. Impress upon him your desires to learn, and he will surely find a place for you in his stew, by which I mean the guild. Well, mid-adventurer, take it you want to join our guild? Let's have a look at you then. Ah, what's an undurfed whelp like you know about cooking? Judging by them scrawny arms of yours, you'd struggle to lift a spoon. Never mind a skillet. I jest. It don't take muscle to be a culinarian. Else it don't even take talent, at least not on his own. No, lass, more than anything else, becoming a good cook boils down to passion. If you got that, there ain't nothing you can't achieve. So tell me, have you got it? That's the spirit, aye. Your passion for the culinary arts is plain to see. And you'll be needing every bit of it, since if you want to become a master culinarian. Why, if mastery was a 12-course dinner, I'd already have finished the soup. The soup. Make no mistake, our trade's as tough as old mutton, and passion's the only thing What gets us through the grisly bits. But enough talk. What do you call yourself? Well done then. Welcome to the guild. To mark the occasion, I present you with your very own skillet. Ain't much to look at, but it'll more than serve a novice like yourself. Now then, let's see whether you can tell which which sends which. Aye, I know. I said you'd struggle to lift a spoon, but you've won me over. Now, show me you can hold a skillet, and I'll get you started on your first task. Right, so now we have a weathered skillet that I can wear. Right. As we now also unlock the crafting log. Let me go and put this over here. I say you're rolling the skillet the right way around. Good. Culinarian lives and dies by his utensils. Get that into your head before you do what else, or your food'll look like shite and taste worse. Let's see what you can do. For starters, I want you to make me maple syrup using your skill. Recipe is as simple as they come. You need only 2 things: maple syrup and a fire sword. Yossi sells sap over at the guild counter. Now, time's away since we get to work. It don't pay to keep the good folk waiting in our trade. Right. So now we have unlocked the crafting log. Let's go to the guild supplier and buy some maple syrup. There we go. Or maple sap. We're making the maple syrup. So, I think the basic button is just N. You can also go down at your logs for both your fish guide, fishing log, and crafting log. I just press N because I'm used to that. You choose whichever one you want to make, whichever recipe you want to make. Then you will see the materials you are required. You need shards, or let me go and take a look. There are 3 different tiers. You have shards, you have crystals, and clusters. And you're going to need a hell of a lot of these if you want to do crafting. These ones you can gather with a miner or with a botanist, which you will get to eventually too. Or, the thing that I do is just buy them off of the market board, because I'm too lazy to gather those. Anyway, or you can have retainers do it for you, because you can give retainers a job too. Anyway, when you are crafting, you have various actions to finish your produce. So, at the moment, since we are this low level, we're not going to be able to increase the quality of our product. So, whenever we use anything, it's going to go down by 10 durability at base. So, we basically have 4 steps that we can perform until the synthesis might fail. So, if I use up all the durability and my progress bar is not filled in, the synthesis fails and there's a chance that I lose the crafting materials. At the moment, it's very simple. We just have basic synthesis, which increases your progress. The efficiency is 100%. I don't know the specifics about it. I think... affects the amount of progress achieved in a single step. So control determines your quality, how much you will increase the quality of your product. And craftsmanship will determine how much progress you can give. And the percentages is just based on, like, for instance, with potency of different attacks. There's like a big old calculations to that, but in the end, this is just the basic shit. As it says. So we get 6 points every single time now. Make 2 of those and bam, we're done. So we make 3 pots of maple syrup. With 1 of those. What in the 7 else are you waiting for? I told you to make me a maple syrup, didn't I? Well, here it is. You... you man. Maple syrup's ready, is it? How about bloody time? Let's see how we taste then. Oh, this ain't bad. Flavor's alright. Consistency nearly there. In short, a damn sight better, and a lot of novices can manage, whatever. As you probably know, maple syrup's one of the most popular sweeteners around here, and a key ingredient in all manner of cakes and treats. What you probably didn't know is that boiling the stuff down gets you maple sugar. A different sweetener with different uses. Just goes to show even the simplest ingredient can have hidden complexes, whatever. I said earlier that a culinarian lives and dies by his utensils. Well, that's just half of it. He also needs to know his ingredients, and that's something that only comes with experience. Keep your nose to the stove and report back when you're ripe for another task. Right, and the next one we unlock at level 5. Which we have not reached, so I would need to craft something. Also, gathering and crafting like are two entirely different things. So you do need to have craftsmanship instead of gathering. Right. I could level this up. Or I could go and I think I'm going to unlock the next couple of things first. Like I said, my plan is to first unlock everything because at some point we're going to run into situations where recipes are going to require you to make things with other crafters or buy them. So I'd rather make them with my other crafters than buy them. Or I have to gather materials. Which I could technically also buy, but I would rather gather them if I can. But now, let us go and unlock our next two crafters. That is, if I can find them. Son of Hammer and bringing you in from the street, did it, lass? It's well you find the din inviting. Jesus. For the Armorers Guild is not the place for quiet reverie. If the clangor of metal striking metal is music to your ears, mayhap you've the spirit of a shipwright. Are you have a mind to join our guild? Take it from me, lass. There's no greater joy than working a shapeless lump of iron into a shining breastplate with your own hands. What say you then? Well said, lass. Now we should cover a bit of guild history before forging ahead with the formalities. The Armorers Guild is an offshoot of blacksmithing. Time was when armorers and smithies were one and the same. But as the years tickled by, the techniques for working sheet metal into armor plates became a specialized trade. And the smithies, who showed uncommon skill and passion for this trade, earned themselves the title armorer. Now, as you can probably imagine, the skills necessary for making armor are also needed for shipbuilding. But building ships is a bit harder than knocking out simple helms, which led to those armorers who were good enough to work on boats to claim the title of a shipwright, of course. It was one thing calling armorers blacksmiths and shipwrights armorers, but it was quite another calling shipwrights blacksmiths, because building a ship and making a hatchet couldn't be more different. It seems as though a line needed to draw in, and seeing as how Lim's was built on the strength of her navy, you can imagine why the armorers chose to cut their ties with the smithies and establish a guild of their own. As for the smithies, well, the whole nation of an independent armorers guild never did sit well with them. And there's been a fair old rivalry between our two factions ever since, always trying to outdo each other, you see? Or we are, whatever. Which is why we're ever on the lookout for new talent to help us keep the smithy bastards in their place. All you need to do is impress the Forge Master and we can start you on your training. Be warned, Forge Master Hananza's tongue could rip the scales of a fishback at 40 paces. Saying that, you won't find a fairer mistress this side of the Strait of Merlther. Let me know when you've mustered the courage to speak with her and I'll see to the rest. Your mind is made up? You're ready to throw your lot in with us armors? Then it's time you made yourself known to the Forge Master. That's no empty title, by the way. Hananza is a renowned shipwright and one of the finest crafters in Lim's. Head outside and you'll find her blistering the skins of our newest initiates. Another inspiring armor, are you? Welcome. I'm Kananza, Forge Master of this guild. I take it Guanaco has explained to you the history and nature of our craft? Good. I have little to add on that front, save this: the life of an armorer is not an easy one. Day after day you will pit flesh and blood against iron and flame, and without a passion for the forge you will fail. The passion alone will not make an armorer of you. To truly master this gift you must be possessed of a will as unyielding as the metals you work. Knowing what lies before you, have you the fortitude to persevere? Huh, I see you have no fear of hard work. That is well, consider your request to join the guild approved. But if you ever give me aught less than your best, you will be out the door before you realize my boot is connected with your backside. Are we clear on that? Good, now that we understand each other, let us begin with the basics. What is your name? Lynn? Very well, Lynn. This tool is called a doming hammer. Here, grip it firmly, note its weight. Let me know when you feel comfortable with it in your hand. I'll tell you if you're holding it properly. Right, so we get ourselves a doming hammer. And unlock armor. Let's go and make a new set. And add it to my hotbar. Now let's go first do this quest, I think. Ah yes, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were an armorer, Lynn. Of course I do know better. Until you craft something with that hammer of yours, you'll look like a babe or battle to me. And I've no intention of mothering you. Make no mistake, I mean to shape you into an artisan, however hard I have to pound. Save your sweat for the forge, lass. I don't expect you to fashion full suits of plate on your first day. Just pay close attention to my instructions. Be diligent in your work, and the skill will come in due time. Now let's be about your first lesson, shall we? I want you to take up your hammer and make me a bronze ingot. A mundane task, I ask you, but one which every armorer must master. Bronze, you see, is the most basic material of the craft, and bronze ingots are its building block. 'Tis not the strongest of alloys, of course, but it is the very quality that makes the bronze so easy to shape, and a metal of choice for a novice armorer. To forge your ingot, you'll need to procure 2 chunks of copper ore, a chunk of tin ore, and an ice shard. The ore can be purchased from some rib here at the guild. The ice shard you'll have to find on your own. Well, are you waiting for me to swing your arm for you, or perhaps you would have me swing my boot? Right. So we can now talk to the guild supplier. Let's go and buy 3 of these boys. And a tin ingot. Or a tin ingot, yeah, sure, no. It's only 2, it wasn't... I think it's 3 and 1 because of freaking Minecraft. So stupid, but it's because of like Minecraft model that I used to do. A lot. I used to play a lot. And that's just kind of screwing with me. In any case, all crafters are in theory the same. They just craft different things. Their skill sets are almost identical. Where's that bronze ingot I asked for? If you can't find the ore yourself, try speaking with Swimmer here at the guild. Get a lot of this. Completed your first task, have you? Well then, let's take a look at this ingot. So this is the sort of quality I can expect from you, is it? For a novice armor, this is excellent work. Excellent, well done then. The key to making good bronze is judging the ratio of copper to tin. With too much tin, the alloy becomes harder, but also more brittle. Not the sort of material you want protecting your vital organs. Lest you forget, quality is a matter of life and death in our craft. That is why we teach our initiates the ideal metallurgic composition of every item we forge. Not that all are quick to learn. There are some who seem destined to produce mediocre results, however painstakingly the processes are explained. Thank the builder you are not one of them. I am pleased to say that your ingot would fetch a decent price in the market. But do not let this first success make you complacent. A single bad helm will lose you more than 100 good ones will win. Because bad armor means dead men. It's not enough that your work be good. It must needs be consistently good. And achieving that consistency requires discipline and long hours of crafting. The same item over and over again and again. For you, this means a mountain of bronze ingots. Bronze ingots in your dreams, bronze ingots until the process is so ingrained that you wake up and find that your pillow is an ingot that you made in your sleep. When you feel you have learned all you can from forging bronze ingots, seek me out and I will find you something else to craft. May the builder guide your hand, Lynn. Right. We're also going to get a lot of the same, like, robes. Or the same gear. Unless you are blind and deaf, I presume you've wandered into a forge for your own accord. Drawn by the siren song of our smithy's hammers, no doubt. In these here hallowed halls, Limsa's finest metal is... finest pound metal. Metal into all manner of tools and weapons. And when I say Limsa's, I mean the whole bloody realms. Make no mistake, you need more than a big arm to join our ranks. But if you've got iron in your veins and the builder's blessing, speak up. Whoopsie. Well, you're not short in confidence. But do you truly know what you're getting yourself into here, lass? Ours is a trade born of blood and brine. For as long as pirates have sailed the Rotterdam, smithies have forged their weapons and fitted out their ships from keel to cannon. Course till sea swallows all. Ain't just an idle saying. Brine will lead through even the stoutest iron given time, and our forebears long struggled to forge more rust-resistant alloys. Lucky for us, the smithies of Eld were a determined bunch and clever too. So, when they learned that the kobolds knew something of advanced metallurgy, the smithies set out to make it their own. Thanks to the kobolds' wisdom, which they generously gifted us with only the merest hint of pirately prompting, Levinson Smithen came on leaps and bounds. 'Twas long before the Gridanians and Uldans started eyeing our knowledge like we did the kobolds, though. And so, some 150-odd years ago, 2 particularly forward-thinking men named Theor Naldik and Bryce Vermilly had the brightest idea of establishing a respectable business. Being fair-minded fellows, they'd sell their wares to anyone who had the coin, pirating and foreigners included. And when folks weren't inclined to pay, they made sure to remind them that we hadn't completely forsaken our pirate ways. Times have changed, though, and we're a wee bit more willing to share our wisdom these days. The company has been running the blacksmiths and armorers guilds for years now, welcoming any soul with the necessary talent and will to work. As to whether you've got enough of the either, well, that's for the forge master to decide. Speak to me when you're ready to present yourself to him. So, Little B, I reckon you've got what it takes to train with the best goddamn blacksmith in the realm? Ha, that's the spirit. If you take any longer to decide, I'd have told you to bugger off no matter what you said. Can't have a half-horsed adventures wasted in Forgemaster Brithael? Sure. Brithael's precious time, see? It's got lots of irons in the fire. That's why me and the other lads make a point of keeping idlers, imbeciles, and otherwise unqualified from getting in his way. And right, it's time you went and paid your respects to the man. He's the one over yonder making a face like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Why is there a freaking pumpkin on that fire? Right, time round to send me new recruits. It's been too long. I'm Brithael, Forgemaster of the Blacksmith Guild. If you're aiming to become a smithy worthy of the name, it would be my great pleasure to educate you on the finer points of the craft. Oh, and the rest of these sour-faced bastards will tell you it's hard, grueling work, fit only for the best and brightest, but I say put a hammer in the hands of the willing and see what happens. What do you say then, lass? Will you swing a hammer for old Brithael? Haha, I knew I liked you the moment I set your eyes on you. What did you say your name was again? Linda there, a name fit for a hero if ever I heard one. In fact, I reckon I did hear it in a bard song once. Or was it that poor sod cursing in his cups at the wench? Bah, no matter if it was saving the world or cuckolding your husband, Jesus. Jesus Christ. Time to force yourself on a reputation. Pound out a new legend, then you can trust old Brithael to help you do it. But there I go, putting the cart before the chocobo. Here, lass, take this crossbeam hammer. Smithy without a hammer is like me without a drink. Bloody useless. Well, then just stand there gawping at her. Take her in your hands. Have a few practical swings, whatever you fancy. She's all yours. What I wouldn't give to be you right now, lass. Smithy never forgets his first hammer. Sniff. Sure, bud. Now we get a crossbeam hammer, which is the blacksmith choice of weaponry. Now that there's a beautiful sight. Never forget a smithy's hammer is her one true love. Friends will betray you, lovers will leave you, but your hammer will do you no wrong. God, seeing you standing there reminds me of a less ale-sodden, more lady-shaped version of my younger self. But on to your task. We ain't the congregation of soft-handed scholarlies here. Smithies learn by doing. Try your hand at making a bronze ingot. Any smithy worth her salt's got to master fundamentals, and you can't get more fundamental than that. It ain't complicated. Once it's just copper and tin melted down and mixed together. So you'll be needing... that's right. Copper and tin ore. And seeing as most folk don't carry stuff like that around without reason, Smitherham outside can provide you with some, for a price that is. What the lad can sell you though, is the fire start you'll need. It ain't complicated, but that don't mean it's easy. You need to melt the metals after all, and to do that you'll need to get them hotter than a bomber's backside. And that's all there is to it. Think you can handle it, lass? Give me the thing. Let's go and synthesize. Remember to make a bronze ingot, all you need is copper, tin, and a fire shard. Murder can sell you the ore, but you'll have to find the shard on your own. Of course, I'm telling you this on the assumption that you've still got to do the job. If you've done it already, show us your work for God's sake. Haha, you're alright, lass. Better than that even. Sure you ain't done this before? Because honestly, this ain't what you'd expect from a venturer fresh out of street. I think it might be a bleeding natural, lass. It just takes the right balance of metal to procure bronze suitable for weapons and tools. But the ingots you've made me, lass, it's on par with them as our veterans produce. You could take this down to Hawker's Alley and find a buyer in no time. Beauregard's watching over you. Ain't no doubt about that. You've got talent, lass, but don't let it go over your head. I've seen plenty of folk get drunk and only success when they pick their guts up later because they forgot that talent's worth bugger all without hard work and dedication. So I tell you what, keep it simple for now, lass. Practice fundamentals still until you can smelt bronze in your sleep. And when you've gained the kind of confidence as only comes with experience, come back and I'll teach you something new. Nice, and the same as usual. So we yet again level up. Alright. Let us go to... I guess I'll go to Ul'dah next. Let's see... We have the Goldsmith, the Alchemist Guild, the Weaver's Guild, and the Miners Guild in this place. So a sizable amount, for sure. Good day to you, adventurer, and welcome to the Goldsmiths Guild. Have you come to observe our artisans at work? Indeed, it is a marvel to watch goldsmiths transform raw metals and uncut gemstones into sparkling rings, earrings, and necklaces, some of which possess magical properties, no less. You know, if you'd like to try your hand at goldsmithing, the guild is open to adventurers like yourself. No prior experience is required, for we teach all you need to know about the craft. Would you be interested? It pleases me greatly to hear you say so. As a first step, I would have you understand the purpose of our guild. The vast mineral resources of Thanalan have given rise to a grand goldsmithing tradition, which has been refined throughout the ages. Our techniques are renowned across the realm, our creations held in the highest regard. However, we of Ashtame's lapidaries, the premier source of Ul'dah jewelry, were not content to rest on our laurels. Seeking to advance our craft, we turned our eyes to the east, the only place in the world whose goldsmithing was set to rival our own. We built the finest facilities to beckon their masters hither, and blended their foreign techniques with ours. Our guild quickly became the center of Eorzean goldsmithing. Aye, here you shall benefit from the refined wisdom of countless veteran craftsmen. You will learn to see the potential in your materials and shape them into your will. These are essential skills, for a goldsmith must hone his eyes to identify and appraise all manner of materials, and, when needs be, recognize imitations for what they are. It is even said that a master goldsmith can ascertain the authenticity of a man himself. We may one day come to possess such vision, but even the most magnificent jewel begins life as a rough-hewn stone. It must first be cut and polished before it can delight the eyes with its brilliance. Jesus, if you would become a goldsmith, you must needs refine yourself as you would a gemstone. It will take much time and effort, and there is no guarantee of success. Should you be certain that this is the life you seek, speak to me once more. Before you can embark upon your journey to become a goldsmith, you must first seek an audience with our guildmaster. Are you ready to do so? You shall find Mr. Serendipity on the workshop floor, just down the steps. Show her your burning desire to learn, and you are certain to receive her permission to join. Stop right there, you little troublemaker. People are working here. Oh, pardon me. I had you mistaken for a mammoth. For a moment there, let's start over, shall we? What brings you here today, adventurer? Do you perchance have aspirations to become a goldsmith? Really? That's great. Welcome, welcome. I am Serendipity, but you can call me Sarah. Or is that too informal? Sorry, I'm still unaccustomed to this whole guildmaster business. Right. What did you say your name was again? Adrian? Oh, right, Linda there. Well done, Linda there. Work hard, and one day your creations may line the shelves of Ashtame's aesthetics. Trust in yourself, and you can achieve anything. That was sufficiently inspiring, I trust. Good. Next order of business. Here's your new chaser hammer. Well, I say new, but it's actually a bit weathered. But never you mind that. Just show me that just show me you know how to hold it, so we can get started. Right, and then we equip a chaser hammer. My first chaser hammer. Great, let's get started. So, to be honest, I'd swear you've done this before. By the way, you wear that hammer on your hip. Mind you, even if you do have some experience, a responsible guildmaster must ensure that her charges have a firm grasp of the fundamentals. Therefore, I command you to craft me a copper ingot. It's simple, really. All you need is copper ore and a wind shard. Our guild supplier, Aston, can supply you with copper ore, and I gave you a few wind shards along with your hammer. At least I think I did. If it turns out you don't have any, you'll need to go get some yourself. Isn't this exciting, Lynn? Your first real challenge as a member of the Goldsmiths Guild. Show me the ingot when you're done. Good luck. Right, and now we can just make a relatively easy copper ingot. Oh, did you forget what materials you need? Aston over there, but whatever. It's just a repeat. You know, I think this is quite... Utter garbage. The worst, not even fit for making a chamber pot. Quiet, Gigi. I am the guildmaster. I get to decide what's fit for a chamber pot. Please excuse me, it gets a bit overzealous at times. Gigi is my assistant, and he has a habit of butting in with his opinions.
Most mammoths are rather simple, capable of no more than rudimentary speech, but they can be relied upon for menial tasks, but little else. Gigi, on the other hand, is quite intelligent and quite stubborn, I might add. I suspect that's due to his age. He's been with the guilds for an eternity, ever attending each guildmaster, but recently he's been coming and going as he pleases. Kneel before Gigi, the one true guildmaster. Respect my authority, ignorant mortal, or suffer my wrath. It's like this every day, Lynn. I'm afraid the experiences accumulated over a century of assisting guildmasters has made him arrogant. It's quite intimidating, really. I may be the guildmaster, but he's like a walking, talking archive of all knowledge to do with our craft. Oh, I completely forgot about your ingot. Sorry. As I was about to say, I think this is very, very good for a beginner. It's reasonably pure and well-formed. I dare say you've got a knack for this, Lynn. What you need now is practice. So keep practicing with your hammer and come back here when you've gotten yourself more comfortable using it. Keep. Bagger off, greenhorn. Alright, my friends, I've noticed that the episode is already kind of long. So I think I'm gonna go enough over here, and next episode we're gonna go and continue grabbing more of our crafters and gatherers. Goodbye.